Please subscribe.
John, do you think that we should have a Doge type organization in Alabama that looks for waste, fraud, and abuse?
Well, I really think that that should already be going on, Chris. I think most people know about our service in the Office of the Secretary of State. One of the first things that I did when I became the Secretary-elect, was to go to Montgomery. I received permission from Secretary Bennett, who was in the role at that time, for me to sit down and to talk to each one of the 49 employees that were currently working in the Office of the Secretary of State. I wanted to find out why those people were working there. I wanted to know what they felt they were contributing and what their goals were for their employment with the office. And it became very clear to me very quickly that we had some outstanding state employees, and we had some that needed to find something else to do outside of state government. And so as we started those conversations, one of the things that I was told was that we don't really need to worry about the people that are working there. Just some of them, and one particular individual was introduced to me. They said, comes to work when he wants to. He goes to lunch when he gets ready. He comes back when he wants to, and he goes home at the end of the day when he gets ready to leave. And just don't give him anything to do in a timely fashion, no deadlines, and everything will be fine. And I said, really? I said, is this guy a full-time employee? And they said, yes. Well, I'm just the guy to have taken an intern and assign that intern to monitor whatever this particular gentleman was supposed to be doing to make sure that he was fulfilling his commitment to the people of the state of Alabama and drawing a full day's pay for a full day's work. He made it 3 months before he left the Office of the Secretary of State when we got to Montgomery. We went from having 49 employees to 36 team members when I left the Office of the Secretary of State. One of the things that we inherited was that they were 7 to 9 months behind on business filings when we arrived. That meant if you sent a check down there and paperwork to be filed to create a new job opportunity for people in our state through a new business, it was 7 to 9 months before they cashed your check or before they processed your paperwork. And if you paid them extra, they would expedite your filing. And we eliminated the expedition of that work. And we actually had it, after we'd been there a year and a half, we had it to same day. And it was same day for the 6.5 years that we remained in that office. And we were able to do the amount of work that had been done by 49 people by 36 people. So we cut the workforce by 25%. I think that's doable in all the different areas of state government, from the Department of Transportation to Department of Labor, Department of Rehabilitation Services, Department of Health, Department of Education. All the different departments in the state of Alabama can do that if they are committed to that procedure.
The president has imposed a number of tariffs on various trading partners. I think we're
Brandon, before
almost
you
on that.
that during that time with those savings, we also saved $3,113,119.19 cash money.
Okay.
Wow.
The president has imposed some tariffs on a bunch of our trading partners. Alabama, we make cars, but a lot of the components to those cars, I mean, if we had American cars, it'd be the same deal. A lot of those components are made elsewhere. Is there a concern if you slap a 25% tariffs on, the transmission to a Hyundai that's built in, a Montgomery, that we may price ourselves out of the car market when you add all those tariffs onto the cost of the vehicle that produced here?
Brendan, I think there's a lot of concern about how the tariffs are actually going to impact our industry and people that work in industry in the state of Alabama. But I also think that most people that I come in contact with, and most people that I've heard from, and most of the things that I've read, is that people are concerned that we're not being treated fairly by some of our trading partners that we've been engaged with for a long time. And they have been taking advantage of the fact that we have been benevolent in our transactions with them. And because of that, we've actually lost money from a national perspective because they require us to pay a certain fee in order to do business in their nation. And now the president has made it clear that he's not going to accept that as a way to do business anymore. He's going to make sure that if they're requiring us to pay certain tariffs, certain transaction fees, then we're going to have to require them to do the same thing so our people will not be mistreated in the marketplace anymore.
With the president enforcing ICE or ICE going in enforcing the deportation measures, are we going too far or not far enough?
Well, look, I'm just like the two of y'all, and I hope anybody else is listening to the broadcast today. We want anyone that wants to come to the United States and live here to be able to come, but we want them to come the right way. And there is a right way, and it's prescribed by federal law for you to become a U.S. citizen or to you obtain a green card so you can actually come here as a visitor and work, or for you to come here as a student and study. There's a prescribed way for you to do all those things. And if you choose to do those things according to law, you will not have a problem. If you don't, you can't try to circumvent that just because you don't like the law. You need to find legislators, whether at the federal level or the state level, depending on what the particular issue is, to modify the law or to change the law if you don't like the law. But you can't just try to circumvent the law and make it up as you go. There's a prescribed way for citizenship. There's a prescribed way to be an international worker in our nation. And there's a prescribed way to be an international visitor, to come here as a tourist or to study here. And all those things have got to be adhered to. And if people are not doing that, then we need to make sure that they are identified as lawbreakers and they need to be punished accordingly.